After 2 years of working as a dental hygienist, waking up so early that everything was still drenched in darkness, and coming back home so extremely tired that all I wanted to do was eat dinner alone, I knew something needed to change. Luckily, I was able to save enough money to quit my 9 to 5 in just 2 short years and pursue a career that I love infinitely more, which is teaching people about personal finance and how to achieve early retirement. And there are only 3 steps that I took, and I want to share them with you today in hopes that maybe in the near future, you could also do something similar as well. Living below your means is probably the most important thing you can do. And according to Scott Rickens in the book Playing with Fire, the 3 biggest expenses that you should control that will give you the biggest impact are housing, transportation, and food. In a higher cost of living city, rent could easily cost $2,000, $3,000, or even more. So whenever you can, try and share your living space with multiple people, like with roommates. Or even better, and if your relationship allows it, stay living with your parents. This way, the cost could be split in between all house members. And for me, I still live with my parents, which really brings down my housing costs per month. And second is transportation. And owning a car can get expensive real quick. First, you have the cost of the car. And then you have weekly or bi-weekly gas money, then maintenance fee, then insurance, which can easily run up to $1,000 per month. So try and combat that by using more public transport or even biking. And if you can, get rid of your car. I know for some people, their cities are not designed for non-car owners, so this advice might not apply to everyone. So there is a way of using cars without actually owning one, which is using car share apps. In our area, there's Evo and Moto, which our family uses frequently instead of owning a car. Third is food. Eating out and Uber Eats can get expensive when stacked over weeks and months. So whenever possible, try and eat at home. And I know cooking after a long day of work can be really frustrating. So what my family does is we use a strategy called batch cooking. So what we do is we plan out 2 to 4 meals that week that we can cook and then freeze afterwards. So it could be curry or pasta or braised pork. So what we do is we cook those meals on the weekend, we separate the food into dinner-sized portions, and then we freeze them until it's time to eat. The second big step I did was to save half of my income. So after tax, I got about $4,200 a month, and I saved half of it. And I'm really glad that by controlling the 3 big expenses, saving half of my income wasn't really hard. And in about 2 years, I was able to save around $50,000. And since it only cost me $25,000 annually to live, my savings can last me a full 2 years. This buffer fund gives me the time and space to work on my personal finance business and YouTube. If you were able to learn a money tip or 2, make sure to subscribe for more content that'll help you buy back your freedom before everyone else. Before we move on to the final step, I do want to take into consideration that everyone's situations are different, and I feel quite lucky to be able to pursue this at 25. Like for example, it was such a big blessing that my parents were generous enough to pay for most of my university tuition, which means when I started working, I immediately was able to take my earnings and put it towards my savings and investments. The third important thing that I prepped before leaving my job is a sound backup plan. In the worst case scenario,
and I'm really hoping that will happen,
if my business is not able to generate my living expenses within 2 years, I can always go back to my original job of being a dental hygienist. And here's a little side note as to why I chose 2 years as my anchor point. And this is because according to entrepreneurs, that is approximately how long it takes to test if a business is sustainable or not. And the reason why I could likely go back to work as a hygienist is because dental hygiene is a medical profession that are usually in high demand. Also, I keep track of a dental profession group chat in my area, and they're always looking for new staff. And I do want to put it out there that I did not save enough money to retire forever, so in the worst case scenario, I do have to go back to work. But I did save enough in just 2 years to be able to walk away from a job that was tearing me down both mentally and physically. Now here's the bonus step. I don't want you guys to watch this and be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna quit in 2 years and become the musician I've always dreamed of, without doing market research. It's very important to do market research beforehand and ask yourself very seriously if there's gonna be a demand for the work that I want to do. And for me, the answer was yes. Personal finance is quite a lucrative niche, and I believe I have a unique voice by being a 20-something-year-old talking about early retirement and how to get there. And on top of that, I have already been learning and pursuing early retirement for 5 years. So here's the question of the day. If you can save about 2 years of living expenses and work on a project or an ideal career, what would it be and why? And what is one little step you can take today to work towards that goal? And if you think, my job isn't that bad, but it would be nice to be able to retire in my 30s or 40s so I can work on other things that make me happy. Go ahead and watch this video where I break down step by step on how to reach financial independence in your 30s, even if you're broke at 20. Thanks so much for hanging out today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!